Love, love, until I feel the breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Hello and welcome to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Gina Kowalski and she's a Catholic layperson. And we're going to be discussing Mary of Medjugorje's messages, the Queen of Peace, who's been appearing in Medjugorje in a little village called Medjugorje in Bosnia-Herzegovina from June the 24th and still is today. Welcome to the program, Gina.
Thank you, Mirella.
And today we're going to be discussing Mary's messages. Today's one we're going to discuss is January the 25th, 2015. I'll read it first and then we'll discuss it, what it means to each one of us. And then you as an audience can also discuss amongst yourself what it means to you. Dear children, also today I call you, live your vocation in prayer. Now as never before, Satan wants to suffocate man and his soul by his contagious wind of hatred and unrest. In many hearts there is no joy because there is no God or prayer. Hatred and war are growing from day to day. I am calling you, little children, begin anew with enthusiasm the walk of holiness and love. Since I've come among you because of this, together let us be love and forgiveness for all those who know and want to love only with a human love and not with that immeasurable love of God to which God calls you. Little children, may hope in a better tomorrow always be in your heart. Thank you for having responded to my call. And now we'll start with the first one. Dear children, also today I call you to live your vocation in prayer. Well, for me that means whatever I'm doing, I need to be doing in prayer. So I guess my vocation is a mother, a wife, a TV host for Mary's messages, and to live those things in prayer instead of like any other way, to devote my heart to prayer, to solve situations if there's difficulties or problems in any area of my life, to live it in prayer. What does it ring to you when you hear those words?
Well, to me, most of all, I think what Mary says, to live vocation in prayer, not necessary to go on your knees and pray, but most of all to serve other people, to be example, to live your life, to be example. Her message is purely about love. So if I go to work as a nurse, I work to do everything what I can to the patient, because we're all in service. The doctor's in service to the patient, we in service to the patient. We help one another, and you humble yourself in that service. You just try to do everything to make that person comfortable. It's the same in your family.
Yeah, exactly.
As a parent or mother or wife, you in service, and you try to help everybody. You try to be that example. So when your children leave, for example, home, they will do the same thing to other people.
That's right.
What do you think?
Yeah, and also I was thinking in like the part of prayer, I think sometimes at night, like the day's all said and done and you're busy, but at the end of the night when you have that quiet time, for me sometimes I just pray at the end of the day when it's nice and quiet, and I find that I really get this beautiful peace with God, like I have a conversation with God in prayer at night, and it's such a beautiful way to end up going to sleep, because I feel that I have made a connection, and I can talk about the worries of the day or the difficulties, and I find that I have so much peace at the end. I don't want to stop the prayer. It gets to that point. So I love that. I love that part about prayer, that you get into an abyss.
What sort of prayer? So you have a pattern of certain prayers?
No, I will do the standard sort of night prayers, Our Father, Hail Mary, Glory be, and then I pray from my heart on my own. I pray them from my heart too, but I also pray on my own from my heart. Whatever is in my heart, I share.
Beautiful.
And that's when it
Yes.
can last forever, really.
I do the same thing pretty much every morning and every night. So I usually open the Bible. You know, I don't plan to. I just open the Bible, pray and meditate. But before I do that, I really put all my heart and my soul into it. And then I light. I've got this little altar at home with Mother Mary, a statue of Mother Mary, and Jesus. And I put little candle, and I always make sure that I have fresh flowers. And I dedicate whole day to the Lord. And at night, the same, when everyone goes to sleep and everything is done, I found always I try to find myself just for the Lord, and I have a conversation with Him. And I love, apart from the Bible, I read Through Life in God messages, and it's like I developed this special dialogue with the Lord, and that really gives me the strength for next day. And because what also means to me, when I walk close with Him, I'm really happy. No one upsets me. All the noises outside disappear. I can sort of compose myself in every situation. So
because He is the pure peace.
He is the peace. He is love. I always say to my children, my adult kids, because my son is 28, my daughter 27, and I said every day, if they going to work or if they're meeting with friends, Lord is love, go and smile. And they said, oh Mom, come on, how many times a day you have to say that Lord is love? And of course we laugh, and you know, but you keep reminding them to be that, because today's life is not very easy. It's that struggle, the competition out there. Everyone, you know, that's what Mother Mary says in this message. Everyone wants to be, you know, superior, and is that competition, who is driving what car, whereabouts do you live, what school do you finish, which university did you go to, how many degrees do you have. At the end of the day, it's not that, it's all about who we are truly.
All right, we'll have to go to a break now. You're watching Spirit of Life. Stay with us, we'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just tuned in to us, we're here with Gina Kowalski, who is a Catholic lay person, and we're discussing Our Lady Queen of Peace's messages from Medjugorje, a little village in Bosnia-Herzegovina, where Our Lady's been appearing. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Mirella.
And the next sentence from the message is, now as never before, Satan wants to suffocate man and his soul by his contagious wind of hatred and unrest. Now, I know that's not a very positive one, but this is what Our Lady said, and this is obviously what we can see when we turn on the news. You know, you hear of this unrest in people and this agitation in people, and it's because he wants them to be like that. So the best thing is for people not to give in to that, because nobody likes to feel agitated or an unrest in their heart. So if people recognise that's what it's from, maybe they will be able to stop whatever they're doing that's causing that kind of interior agitation, and realise it's coming from him, and to come to God and have peace.
Oh yes.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I think, Mirella, in the 60s and 70s, when I was growing up, the technology was very limited. There was more time for family life. We only had one telephone in the house, one car per family, and there was no mobile phones and computers. So we had more time for the family. So parents will spend more time taking children for walk, discussing things, etc. And not only that, there was more respect. today we have everything because of our computers, iPads, mobiles. You know, in 5 minutes I can speak to my sister who lives in Poland, or I can ring London or the other side of the world.
Technology is pretty amazing. I mean, it is a great thing.
Beautiful, it's fantastic. But look, because of that, we became really robots. Like we very limited. I don't use that term, necessary robots, but we very limited. We don't have enough time for the family. You often, I really, when I go for a walk and I see mother pushing the pram and she's on her mobile talking to her friend, or I see other mothers when their children playing, doesn't matter what they do, they too busy and occupied with their telephones.
Takes over.
So and then therefore we've got this amazing technology. You come home, you can watch any movie video on your iPad. I tell you, over Christmas we met with some friends and family members. We went to the coffee shop on the beach, and my friends came with the little children, 4 kids, and so we sat, had lunch. It wasn't lunch, was breakfast, and we were talking, the little kids, instead going and playing in the sand, everyone had this little iPad, what they call those little thing. Yeah,
everyone's talking about that now.
Everyone, and no one, we didn't know what, every one of them was doing something. There was no interaction. Kids didn't play like we used to play. We wanted our kids to play, dig in the sand, build the sand castles.
Get dirty,
run around. And nothing like this is happening today. And why? So this distraction, because you come home, your child is very busy on the computer. You don't know what he is doing or she is doing. Who is she talking to? You'd love to speak to her, but they always too busy. So we've got very limited time for each other. So therefore the family unit is completely destroyed. We have to fight. Within our families, we have to fight to bring that love to the family again, to stop to smell the roses. And I love...
Because it all starts in the family, doesn't it? Society starts in the family.
Exactly. You remember what Pope Francis said, that we all, in one of his messages, he said, we all have to put down our computers, telephones, just walk outside and play like we used to play. Do you see kids running around your block, or when you go to the park? No one is interested, because they have all the equipment, the latest technology, which is fantastic, but no one is running. We took Frisbee to the beach. No one was interested to even play that Frisbee. They said, what? Auntie Frisbee? Who today plays Frisbee, for God's sake, you know? So, because they're so involved. So on one side, technology is fantastic. On the other side, that technology can destroy family life.
Okay, and I'll read the next sentence. In many hearts there is no joy because there is no God or prayer. And for that message, that there is no joy, there's such a clear answer, because there is no God or there is no prayer. So if you haven't got joy in your heart, you need to ask yourself, have I got God in my heart? And have I got prayer in my heart? That's what that means to me. And when I find that I have prayer in my heart, when I pray and I have that quiet time with God, I always feel that joy. And it's just like I don't want to stop. So that's why I do it at night time. So I have got that free time when I fall asleep. But and then I eventually fall asleep. But I think that's the answer. That's the answer. If you haven't got God or prayer in your heart, you haven't got joy. So it's a nice, quick answer, I think.
That's for sure. Prayer, if you said to somebody like from primary school or secondary college, do you pray? If you ask someone, do you pray today? What God means to you? How would you find true love? Because today often children say today is all about fashion, the latest clothes, the latest technology, as we discussed before. But what about me? Who am I? No one really stops because everything is superficial. You know, it's the outside that counts most, not what you really have in your heart. Because if you dressed beautifully, if you put the latest Tiffany chain on, the latest shoes, and dress, everyone will notice you. But if you start conversation about the Lord or the Bible, they will think something is wrong with you.
We'll have to go to a break now, but we'll continue on that. You're watching Spirit of Life. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
Till I hear much breath of the Spirit flowing in me. Love, love, till I hear much breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Hello and welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Gina Kowalski, who is a Catholic layperson, and we're discussing Our Lady Queen of Peace's messages from Medjugorje. She's been appearing there since June the 24th, 1981 and still is today. Welcome back to the program, Gina.
Thank you, Mirella.
And I'll read the last parts of the message. Our Lady said, "Hatred and war are growing from day to day. I am calling you, little children, begin anew with enthusiasm the walk of holiness and love, since I have come among you because of this." For me, Our Lady's clearly saying what we hear in the news. There's just wars growing from day to day, not just physical wars that we hear about in different countries, but also wars in people's hearts, you know, people with this unrest. So we know that's happening. That's the awful side of life. Then the good side of life is she's saying, I'm asking you to begin again with enthusiasm, anew, the walk of holiness and love. And that is the reason she is among us. That is the only reason she's saying, that's since I have come here among you because of this. So for me, that means to build this holiness, to build this prayer, to build this love, and to walk in holiness and love with enthusiasm, to make it contagious so other people also want to join in. Show the joy of the part of having faith, not the, got to go to Mass or anything like that. Show that it's something beautiful, that you're going to Mass, so more people come to Mass. That you're going to pray, more people pray. Smile, you're smiling, more people will smile. Love is contagious. When you're around people who are loving, you just want to keep loving, and it's a contagious thing. And I think that's what Our Lady's saying to us. Be excited about your faith and share it with others so they can also see the joy of it. And for me, the joy of faith is seeing Jesus in other people, because it makes the relationships with all people magical, because you don't know what Jesus in them is thinking or going to do, and it's always something beautiful if you are motivated by that in your relationship with others.
Oh, definitely, definitely, Mirella. I think to me this message is what Mother Mary is saying. Do not be afraid. Go and speak about the Lord. Bring the kids to the church. Read the scriptures. You know, because often they don't have time. They have time for everything, to socialize, to party, to do things. Their lives are very loud, very busy. They don't have that time what we have, to stop, to pray, to meditate. And there is, like you mentioned, there is a lot of negativity through the news because of the wars and the hatred out there. But we have to be example. We have no right to judge. Who we are to say what's wrong or right? We give this to the Lord. We just pray for those people, for the peace out there in the world. We have no right to judge. Nobody. We just have to pray. And like you said, you've said it beautifully, we have to go with that enthusiasm in our hearts and encourage people to come with us. I have neighbors, my neighbors, both of them atheists. They're beautiful people. And so I invited them for Christmas to have a little lunch with us, after Christmas actually, to have little lunch and to share our joy. And so we sat at the table, and we discussed what Christmas meant to us and what meant to them. And they said, "Oh, what's so special about Catholic Christmas?" I said that the Christmas is only because of the baby Jesus and the Christmas tree. And so we went through the discussion, and I said, you know, every year we invite priests to our house, and my kids were present at that lunch, and I said we invite priests to bless our house, to cast all the demons, and my neighbors laughed. And so they said, "What demons, Gina?" And I said, you know, the negative energy. Sometimes, you know, everything happens within the family. We do have this heavy discussion. Sometimes there is a fighting zone going on because we don't necessarily as a parent agree on some stuff that kids want to do. And they said, "Oh, well, could you please then invite your priest to my house to cut the demons?" And that was, you know, I told, well, that was a beginning. And they said, "We would like to meet your priest." So, Mirella, that's all about love, you know?
Exactly.
Loving and sharing and spreading the news.
Absolutely. And in a way, to make other people laugh as well. Like, it doesn't have to be all serious, and they laughed along with it, and then they wanted the priest there. So it's exactly how we should be doing it. Our Lady also says, "Together let us be love and forgiveness for all those who know and want to love only with a human love and not with that immeasurable love of God to which God calls you. Little children, may hope in a better tomorrow always be in your heart. Thank you for having responded to my call." Well, Our Lady is saying, you know, people are loving, like the people are loving in the world, but they're loving with a human love, which means they have limited love. And they're maybe, I will love you and protect you, and if someone's a bit rude to you, I'll go and hurt that person. Exactly. That's not what God wants. God wants us to love everyone, universally, the entire world. And because He loves everybody. Every single person on earth is His child. We are all brothers and sisters. Even though we're not all biologically related, we are all brothers and sisters in God's eyes. So He just wants us to love in that way, with a big love, not just, I only protect my family, I'm only with my friends. It's we've got to break down all those barriers and
go out there and reach to others.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I fully agree on what you just said. And, you know, we're not allowed to judge one another. And doesn't matter if your neighbor is atheist or a Jew, or if he comes from another belief. That doesn't really matter, because we're here not to judge. We have to love and support one another, because we're all His children.
Yeah, I know, because when we die, God's not going to say, "What did they do to you? What was that person? What was this person doing?" He's going to say, "Did you love? I didn't ask you to do anything else. All I asked you to do was love. Did you love?" Doesn't matter what, you can't go and say, "Well, he did this or he did that." He said, "Did you love?" Because we all have reasons, you know, like someone was mean to me. Well, did I love them? Maybe they didn't accept love, so I prayed for them. Or maybe I gave them a present and I dropped it round to their place. Or I said a prayer for them. You know, you do what you can. God knows our hearts.
Yes, we need to learn how to forgive one another. And this is the biggest thing, to forgive one another. And Lord says, go and love your enemy. Because what good do you do if you love those who loves you? What that does to me.
It's too easy.
It's too easy. No, He wants us out there to go and to be that example.
That's the challenge.
Yes.
Well, we'll have to end the program now, but we'll have you back again next week. Would you like to come back on the show next week?
Oh, yes, why not, Mirella? Thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful. You've been watching Spirit of Life. Join us again next week.